this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demo and I'm in the UK, and my job is to bring you projects made with Stampin' Up products to inspire your own paper crafting projects. And today we're going to be making this card, which uses this beautiful stamp set called Cactus Cuties. It didn't strike me the first time I looked through the catalogue. It wasn't on my first wish list. But then when I went back, I love these simplified images, and I love stamps that are block stamps where you don't have to do any colouring. And I just thought, actually, I really like this. And so I bought it. And of course, what tempted me even more was a matching punch. So this will cut out this cactus and the little flower and this little bulbous bit and this bowl. So it's really, really good value. I'm going to show you how I made this one. I've just used the biggest cacti here, the biggest cactus, with some of the flowers and one of the bowls. Love this sentiment, just a note. I put that on quite a lot of cards because I just think it suits every occasion. You can say just a note to say happy birthday, and you can write your note in there, or to say thank you, or to say hi, or whatever. So anyway, let's get started. So we're going to start with a card blank. This is our thick Whisper White. No, it's not Whisper White. It's Basic White. It used to be Whisper White. I do keep forgetting that it's not Whisper White. It measures 14.5 by 21 centimetres, and I'm going to score at 10.5. And I'm going to tell you the inches measurements, if you just give me a sec. So this measures 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, and you score at 4 1/8 if you're working in inches. So my card blank, I'm going to do it this way. I've got a bit of a smudge of an ink on. I don't know where it came from. I've got a bit of a smudge of ink on my cardstock, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as the front of my card because it's going to be covered with pattern paper, with DSP. So we need a piece of DSP. I'm using this brickwork pattern, which is from the Bloom Where You're Planted suite, and it's absolutely lovely. My piece of paper measures 10, so it's just 1/2 centimetre smaller, and by 14, so it's just 1/2 centimetre, so it's 1/4 centimetre border we're going to get round these. So let's just trim that down. I know it's already the right width because I used it on my other card, on this card, but it's not quite the right length at the moment, so let's just trim that down. And then just take some Tombow and glue that up. Oh no, before we do that, what I forgot to do on my card, and I'm going to do it now, is do the sentiment. So, right, I am just going to trim up my card blanks. The edges aren't quite meeting up, so I'm just going to trim that down. And by doing so, I'm going to make it a midge less than 10.5, so I'm just going to trim my DSP down as well. I just like the edges to be absolutely married up, and it annoys me if they're not. I know sometimes you can have them one longer than the other to make it easier to open, but I don't like it. Right, that's going to be perfect. I've just taken off that little smidgen and that little smidgen just to make it suit my OCD. Sorry about that. Right, okay, I'm just going to do the sentiment here just before I stick this down. So I'm going to take a little bit of cinnamon cider. Not my favourite colour. It's certainly not one of my favourite in colours, but it goes really well with this project, so I have used it. Using my embossing buddy, which just contains a very fine powder, which will prevent any bits of embossing powder sticking to the wrong places there. Grab my Versamark pad and grab my Just a Note. I'm going to try and centre this fairly near the bottom. Perfect. Really lovely sentiment, and I love the font as well, and the size. It's a nice size, it's a nice font. It's going to be a perfect little sentiment to have in my stash. Probably for that reason I won't ever be getting rid of this stamp set, because I love that sentiment too much. Right, I'm going to just put it in one more time, make sure it's really well covered with embossing powder. There we go. And then just going to bring my heat gun in. Just sorry about the noise for a sec. I will try and shout above the noise of my heat gun. I hope you can still hear me. So I made this card at the weekend for the Share It Sunday blog hop, where we just showcase any project that we've been working on. And I've been playing with this stamp set because it's fairly new to me. Like I said, it was my second order from the catalogue. It didn't make it to my first wish list. So it's from the second. Yeah, that's perfect. My second wish list. And actually, I'm quite loving it. And it's always the same way. Once I bought a stamp set, I then keep seeing lots of lovely samples with it. So I'm really looking forward to using it more. I was trying to avoid buying too many flowers. I don't know whether cacti count as flowers, but I seem to have really not succeeded this time. I have bought loads of flowers from the new catalogue, but they're what I like, so there we go. Right, so I'm going to stick this on before I stick this down because I want to be able to just trim it exactly. So I'm just going to put some Tombow. This is Cinnamon Cider Card, did I say that? And embossed in white from the Basics embossing powders. It's a really good set of powders though, and the white, as you can see, I've had white powders from other companies in the past, and they're just not as opaque as this one. They just don't emboss quite as well. So I'm really pleased I've got Stampin' Up ones now. You can always rely, I know Stampin' Up aren't the cheapest prices, but you can always rely on the quality. And as they say, if you buy it cheap, you buy it twice. So sometimes it doesn't work out any cheaper anyway. Right, I'm not sure that's absolutely straight, so I'm just going to straighten it up a little bit. That better? I think so. And then I'm just going to glue my panel down onto my card. There we go. Get my spreader, my silicone brush. It's fantastic because the glue just peels off it as it dries. So that's perfect. And it gets the glue right to the edge of the paper in a very thin layer. So it's not going to squidge out and spoil your project. Really good idea. Available on Amazon as a silicone brush if you look, and they're usually in the makeup section, I think. I think they're designed for dyeing hair. I think that's what they're for. Right, so let's pop that away while we concentrate on making our panel. So for our panel, we need a piece of Whisper White, which measures, I'm not sure that's on quite straight, is it? I think 6 by 8.5, I think, centimetres. It is 2.5 just about by 3 3/8 if you're working in inches. Right, so I think this piece is going to be big enough. 6 by 8.5, I need it. Let's see. Oh, just big enough. Yay. So 6 by 8.5. And we are going to stamp the cactus straight on to the cardstock. But I want to be able to know where to put it first of all, so I'm going to do the pot first. So I'm going to take the pot stamp, another little bit of Whisper White, and then let me work out here. I need it, so I'm just working out, so I need it down there and facing up, just where it's going to go in the punch, so I don't ruin a whole piece of card for it. So it's going to go here, like so. There we go. I did I haven't used the cinnamon cider ink very much. I did have to squidge some of the ink away to get a nice clear and get these lines, because otherwise they were filling up. So if you don't get a clear image, just try scooching with a credit card or something flat like that some of the ink to one side of the stamp pad. So there's our pot, which is going to go there. So now I can see roughly. So I'm going to make a mark where my pot is going to go so I know where to put my cactus. Here's my cactus. I'm going to change up the colours a bit this time. I'm going to use soft succulent for my cactus. Not a colour that I've used ever so much. Thought there was an air bubble, but I don't think there is. Right, so I've got my line, so I can see where I need to put it roughly. I'm trying to centre it. There. Oh, perfect. Nice colour for cactus as well. Right, and then we've got our pot, which is going to go there on some dimensionals. Let me just grab my dimensionals. Don't need whole ones for this, it's only a little pot, so I'm going to just cut a couple in half. Grab my tweezers. Got everything in a drawer to my right, so I can just grab it, which is really helpful. Oh, got an extra bit there. There we go. Pop him up there, and then pop this one down there. So the flowers are going to be raised up on dimensionals as well, and I just need to cut up some dimensionals to make tiny, tiny little pieces to fit behind the flowers. But I'll show you that in a bit. Now I've taken off the dimensional. There we go, stuck to my finger instead of the card. There we go. Right, and then that is just going to go at the base of my cacti. Cacti? Not quite sure. Right, and then the flowers, we need a little bit of card, and I'm going to cut this in half, and you'll see why when I go to punch. I'm just going to cut this. So you need little strips of card really to do the flowers, because when you go to put it in the punch, you don't want to waste a whole piece of card, because you can't punch the flowers without punching something else. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do, yeah, I think I was doing pink. I'm not, I'm doing pale papaya, aren't I? There we go. And I'm going to do it at the bottom here. And I hope that's going to work. So I'm going to put it into my punch like so, and then I get a minimal amount of wastage. Can you all see that? Move it round a bit until you've got no white edges, like so. That's one little flower. There we go. We'll just do that again. So, thought I'd lost it. I got it. And then we need, how many others did I do? I did 5 altogether, I think. So we might do one at this end. So I'm just using up little scraps of card here. You don't need whole sheets of card to do this. There we go. Sending things all over the place here. I'm not quite liking this colour scheme though. Right, and then we've got another piece of card here. Oh, got a bit of card stuck. There we go. There we go. It is one of the troubles with these punches that punches out lots of shapes, is you do sometimes end up wasting a lot of card stock. So this is just my way. And of course you can work out how to punch everything out at once, but the problem is that you don't want to stamp everything in the same colour. So with this you don't want green pots and green cacti. You maybe want different colours and different colour flowers. So not quite as easy as it is with some builder punches. There we go. and that's it. Right, that's all we need the punch for at the moment. We're just going to mount these onto dimensionals. So I'm going to take my dimensionals, and I need some tiny, tiny little pieces. So I'm just going to cut some of this edging strip into tiny, tiny little strips so that I can just put one little bit on the back of each of the flowers, and that should help it stay. Shouldn't be a problem. They're very, very light, these flowers. You only need a tiny bit of something to stick them down. So we'll put one up there. Don't know what this kind of cactus is called actually. We did used to have one when I was younger. I don't know what they're called. I'm sure all these cacti do have different names. And they are quite fun plants. I think for kids they're quite fun. They do flower. They have such lovely flowers on when they do flower. There we go. And another one. So if you've been agonising about this set and wondering about it, I hope I'm inspiring you here. Like I said, I wasn't keen, but I did think that these really lovely simple images lend themselves to my kind of style of card making. So in the end I was convinced. So quite often happens that things that I don't buy first from the catalogue end up being my favourites in the end, so you never can tell. Right, I've got one more flower to do. One more little bit of dimensional going on the back here. And then there. And then what I think I'm going to do here, I backed it with cinnamon cider. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it with soft succulent, if I can find an offcut of soft succulent to use. Just have a little root through my box. Here we go. So if you remember, this was 6 by 8.5. So I'm going to cut my soft succulent down to 6.5 by 9. So 6.5 by 9. I'm hoping that will give me a very thin little border around the edge, like so. Yeah, perfect. There we go. We'll just mount that on there, and then it will go on our card blank, which I will just grab. Go on our card blank like that. Yeah, very different image actually, isn't it? Amazing how the colours, different colours, change the feel of the card, but hey ho. Let's just get a bit of gluing done. There we go, a little bit of Tombow. Spread it out. And mount it so that your borders are all the same. You'll get some wiggle room with the Tombow, so you can manoeuvre it to be the same border all the way around as much as is possible. Like so. Oh, that's not right. It's too far over one side. Let's do it again. Just want to go. Always happens on camera, doesn't it? I do this so many times a week and just lay it down and it's perfect. Just because I'm on camera, I'm making a real pig's ear of it. Oh. That's better. Happy with that. And then a little bit more Tombow. Spread it out, and then we're done. I did do a little bit of decoration inside my original, which I'll show you in a sec. So that is going on there. Centre it, make sure it's level, and then down. Just a note. There we are. there's my cards. And here I did do a little bit of DSP, and then I stamped the flowers, but I didn't realise it afterwards. They look very different to the flowers on the front. I'm not very happy with them. So if I was going to do that on this one, I'd put a little strip of card, and then I think I would stamp out some more flowers like I did on here, and punch them out and just stick them on. So anyway, that's me for today. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope I've inspired you with this stamp set. Anything you'd like to buy is down below. Don't forget, we still have celebration going on, so every £45 you spend, you can choose a free item. What's not to love about that promotion? And I'll be back really soon with another tutorial, so please join me. If you haven't already subscribed, please press subscribe. That would be great. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.